The bull had the Frisbee in his mouth. Karen was screaming in a pitch only small dogs and people with bad hearing could hear, and I sat on my porch sipping lemonade like I was watching cable, wondering if I should charge admission. If you'd told me a week earlier my pasture would turn into a suburban turf war, I'd have laughed, spat out my lemonade, and gone back to fixing the barn roof. But there we were, and the universe apparently has a sense of humor. It started on a quiet Sunday when 5 glittery SUVs pulled up by my fence like a herd of metallic buffalo doors slamming with the kind of urgency you only see when people are late for brunch. The north gate was open, and no, I hadn't opened it. I trudged down the gravel boots, complaining with every step, ready to play rancher and civic lecture giver in one neat speech. You're trespassing. I'll press charges. Instead, I found Karen Whitmore, HOA President, self-appointed suburban Tsarina human Pinterest board, come alive twirling a bright yellow Frisbee and calling for her crew like it was a Sunday picnic. A woman in pink sneakers chased it with the enthusiasm of someone auditioning for a yogurt commercial. It was surreal, the kind of thing your brain files under later when I tell this story. Karen, I said, dry as dust, you do realize that's my pasture. Oh, Jake, she cooed, the smile that had ruined more backyard peace than any bylaws. We just needed some open space for a little friendly exercise. You've got so much land you barely use this part. It was a ranch, Karen. That part was where I fed livestock, where tractors lived, where a machine that cost more than her entire wardrobe sat quiet and patient. The Frisbee thunked against its side and rolled into the dirt like it belonged there. My left eye started to twitch. I tried to be civil. Take it to the park, I said. You're trespassing. Oh, Jake, she said, folks hurt now. The HOA says. I'm not in the HOA, I cut in. I'd refused when they tried to rope me in 5 years ago. That fact deserved a parade of confetti and a small brass band, but all Karen heard was, I'm adjacent, therefore entitled, which she believed the way some people believe in astrology. Her friends gathered water bottles, sun hats, a dangerous chorus of agreement, 8 grown adults treating my land like a public amenity. I had options. I could call the sheriff, I could mail passive-aggressive letters, I could install cameras that made people feel guilty for existing. Or, and hear me out, I could release Buster. Buster wasn't just a bull. I raised him from a calf whose mother had other plans, and he'd learned manners, mischief, and how to open a feed bin with his horns. He also harbored a deep personal hatred of anything disc-shaped, probably a traumatic drone pizza incident a couple summers back. I didn't tell Karen I was opening the southern gate. I walked back to the house, pulled up the pasture cam feed on my phone, and queued up popcorn in my head. They came back the next morning. More SUVs, more racket. Karen sent another Frisbee flying the arc of entitlement, and that's when I let Buster out. He didn't charge so much as saunter all heavyweight grace like a prizefighter making an entrance. His eyes locked on that neon threat. Karen saw him maybe 2 seconds too late. Jake, she shrieked, is that safe? Depends who you're asking, I called deadpan. Buster thinks Frisbees are a threat to national security. Panic broke women screaming, 2 bolting for cars, 1 doing a somersault over a yoga mat, and ending up mouthful of grass. Karen lasted 3 seconds before dignity and survival parted ways. She bolted for the fence like a reality show contestant in a hurry. Buster. He missed everyone. He snagged the Frisbee midair, trotted off, chewing like a dog with a prize, then paused as if to wink and lay down under an oak to shred the thing into confetti. The field was suddenly empty dust, and 1 abandoned monogrammed water bottle the only evidence of the invasion. By noon, the clip shaky cinematic full of shrieks and slow motion someone had added hit the internet. Frisbee Bowl trended in 3 states before my phone stopped buzzing. I did not upload the video. That mattered when Karen stormed up my driveway later that day, hair-frazzled face flushed, accusing me of setting her up. I leaned on the porch post, sipped my 3rd lemonade, and let her breathless indignation hang in the air. You released him, she accused, shaking a finger like a tiny judge. Correct, I said, shrugging. Onto my land where my bull lives. Her response was the sort of logic gymnastic only HOA lore could justify. You're adjacent to the HOA. That's not how property works, but she'd vote on private land like it was a potluck theme. She pulled out a phone, typed an email to everyone, emojis and badly cropped screenshots included. The HOA's Safety and Recreation Subcommittee emailed a formal complaint. Buster was now a roaming hazard and must be leashed in daylight and boxed behind an 8-foot privacy fence. I framed that letter and hung it in the barn bathroom because what else do you do with nonsense? The neighborhood split fast. Half thought the whole mess was comedy gold. The other half were old codgers who'd never liked the idea of a working ranch within eyesight of their cul-de-sacs. Karen doubled down. She organized a community unity Frisbee festival right on the edge of her property, glaring at my field like a stage director. She even printed cookies with cartoon bulls crossed out in red icing. Meanwhile, my niece, bless her for tech skills, and I started a fan page, Buster the Bull Defender of Ranch Rights. Pictures of Buster munching hay, Buster staring at sunsets. Buster wearing a cowboy hat sent people into a feeding frenzy. Local stores sent novelty Frisbees shaped like bullhorns. Someone mailed Buster a tiny cowboy hat. The vet clinic asked to sponsor his feed. Karen went from villain to viral punchline, and she didn't like losing the narrative. She got louder. Emergency HOA sessions, petitions, bylaws. She even started a zoning complaint trying to get my land reclassified as a public hazard. That's when the twist showed up. Not a fictional twist, but real-life deus ex machina, in the form of Leslie Hart County Inspector high school acquaintance, and once captain of the 4-H club who'd punched a jerk for making fun of her prize goat. Leslie walked my field clipboard folded and said the words I'd been waiting for. This appears to be a personal vendetta disguised as a safety issue. Closing the complaint. Karen sputtered. Did she think the bull targeted yoga pants out of malice? Or did the bull respond to a group trespassing and hurling neon discs? Leslie closed the case and Karen drove away with tire marks like a crime scene. The community watched. Karen's power started to leak. At the next HOA meeting, she tried to posture about dignity and safety. People remembered the cookies, the late-night emails, the petty fines. Greg Mitchell, our accountant with a stutter, helped do the honors. He held up a photo of the bull-crossed-out cookie and asked deadpan, was that dignified? Laughter spread like wildfire. A no-confidence vote passed so loud the thermostat in the clubhouse probably filed a complaint. Karen lost her title and the parking space that came with it. I slipped out before anyone threw confetti. Victory, as it turns out, doesn't need trumpets. Awkward silence and shrinking egos will do just fine. Still, Karen lingered, a retired queen of passive aggression who'd learned to smile again. She waved from across the street one morning, which nearly made me drop a 50-pound feed sack. A handwritten apology arrived by courier, neat cursive, a steakhouse voucher tucked inside, the kind of thing that says, I tried this once in civility. Part of me wanted to burn it, stomp the ashes, have Buster dance on them for sport. But part of me, the bigger part, thought maybe public humiliation had taught her something. Then came the real twist. She put up a sign, Zen Zone Yoga Studio Relaxation with a View. It sat on a strip of undeveloped land on the edge of her backyard, the font a soothing green. Problem was, the land wasn't hers yet. By 4 p.m., I was at the county clerk's office with a checkbook, a folder of IDs, and the kind of smile you only get from someone who's played chess and realized the other player forgot their queen. 40 minutes later, I owned the plot. By dawn, I'd hammered a sign of my own into the ground, future site of Buster's Coop and Crow Cafe, fresh eggs, loud roosters, no yoga. The next day, Karen's sign was gone. When she showed up arms folded, she did something that surprised me. She laughed. A real laugh, not a squeal. You're impossible, she said, and the laugh carried a tiredness that made her human again. Accurate, I replied. Sometimes winning means not humiliating the defeated, but letting them find the exit themselves. The neighborhood calmed. People came by to meet Buster, bringing apples and scarves. He promptly tried to eat. I hosted a barbecue, nothing fancy, brisket and lawn chairs, and a Frisbee station with a warning sign. Play at your own risk, bull has priorities. Greg brought beer, kids wanted selfies, and someone made a shirt that said, let the bull play. Karen stood just beyond the gate, ate a rib, watched, and then walked away down the gravel road as the sun dipped behind the hills. Peace settled like dust on a shelf. Here's the thing I learned. Small victories don't need gongs. Justice in real life is often a slow tightening of loose ends, a viral video that makes people laugh. A county inspector who remembers you from high school, neighbors who decide they like your bull more than they like being bossed around. The moral, if you want one, is that power wielded without respect for people's lives and property eventually wears thin, and sometimes the best defense of what's yours is the quiet, patient, and occasionally ridiculous act of refusing to back down. It's not about revenge for revenge's sake. It's about boundaries, about the simple dignity of owning your land and your life. And there's the satisfying part. Karen lost her throne, the bylaws that would have strangled neighborhood life stalled, and Buster, he got a fan page, a hat, and the unofficial title of local hero. He also got to keep chewing on whatever neon plastic fate tosses his way. So tell me, where do we draw the line between protecting a community and policing someone else's life? When does standing up for your rights become petty retaliation? And when is it just plain self-respect? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me if you've ever had to defend your patch of ground, or if you think I went too far. Share your stories. Argue your side. And if you've got a bull, a goat, or a stubborn fence post with an attitude, tell me how you handled it. I'm all ears.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.